Good evening, delegates. This is the first convention since 1956 that we meet without Senator Kennedy. But make no mistake, he is here with us this evening. I see him in the passion of our delegates, the character of our candidates, and the causes that unite us. For my Uncle Teddy, politics was always about people. He was from a big family, and he understood that lives are measured not by line items in a budget, but by first days of school, last days of summer, by promotions won and jobs lost, new homes, broken hearts, baptisms, funerals, and every precious moment in between. I remember campaigning with him once in Texas for then Senator Barack Obama. We showed up at a hall in a small border town with only a handful of voters to greet us. He didn't care. There were working folks who had come out to support our candidate. Uncle Teddy got up, raised his hands, and belted out, "Ay, Jalisco, no te rajes," in a strong Boston accent. The crowd went crazy for the old ranchero song and the Massachusetts mariachi who sang it. It was Uncle Teddy at his best, and he gave his best to everyone he met, whether a sick child, an injured soldier, an unemployed worker. That idea guided him through the bigger battles: to guarantee the right to organize, to end apartheid, bring peace to Northern Ireland, and health care to all. It guides us, and it guides us in the tough campaign ahead as we fight for our middle class and an economy that's built to last, defend a woman's right to choose, keep a college education affordable, protect our seniors' retirement security, and ask every American to do their part to safeguard the promise of this country. 4 years ago, Uncle Teddy marveled at the grit and grace of a young senator who embodied the change our country sorely needed. As we pause today to remember Senator Kennedy, we recommit ourselves to the leader he entrusted to carry on our cause. Thank you very much.
For all those whose cares have been our concern, the work goes on, the cause endures, the hope still lives, and the dream shall never die.
No matter who writes the history books, when people look back on this century, they will say that Edward Kennedy was one of the ablest and most productive, most compassionate and most effective men who served in the United States Senate in the entire history of the country.
Now to Boston as we show you live coverage of the debate between Democratic incumbent Edward Kennedy and his Republican challenger, Mitt Romney.
I believe that abortion should be safe and legal in this country. I believe that since Roe v. Wade has been the law for 20 years, that we should sustain and support it. And I sustain and support that law and the right of a woman to make that choice.
On the question of the choice issue, I have supported the Roe v. Wade. I am pro-choice. My opponent is multiple choice. When, Mr. Romney, are you going to tell the people of Massachusetts which health care program you favor?
I have a plan. I have a position paper on health care. I'm happy to show it to you, Senator, anytime you'd like.
Mr. Romney, it isn't a question of showing me your paper. It's a question of showing all of the people in here that are watching this program the paper.
Well, they could get.
They ought to have an opportunity to know.
And I think it's a wonderful idea to take it through piece by piece. And
that's what you have to do as a legislator.
I understand.
That's exactly what you have to do as a legislator. Now he's for family leave. Now he looks like he's for minimum wage. Now he's for education reform. If we give him 2 more weeks, he may even vote for me, because those are the things I am for. Mitt Romney called me to congratulate me on being re-elected to the United States Senate.
The best way to find out about what a party will do is what it has done. We were the ones that brought higher education, the Medicare programs, the Medicaid programs, knocked down the walls of discrimination. We brought a sound economy, a sensible foreign policy. Those are the essential values of the Democratic Party, aren't they?
I love this country. I believe in the bright light of hope and possibility. I always have, even in the darkest hours. I know what America can achieve. I've seen it. I've lived it. And with Barack Obama, we can do it again.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. This is the cause of my life. New hope. That we will break the old gridlock and guarantee that every American, north, south, east, west, young, old, will have decent, quality health care as a fundamental right and not a privilege.
Today's decision was a victory for people all over this country, whose lives will be more secure because of this law and the Supreme Court's decision to uphold it.
If Teddy were here, he would tell us now it's time to roll up our sleeves, get to work, fully implement the law, and move on with the business of our country. This one was a long time coming, and it's one that I knew my husband would have loved to have seen. Everything he did was about the future. It was about going forward. It was about passing the torch to a new generation.
Those of us who knew Teddy and worked with him here, people of both parties, know that what drove him was something more. Ted Kennedy's passion was born not of some rigid ideology, but of his own experience. That large-heartedness, that concern and regard for the plight of others is not a partisan feeling. It's not a Republican or a Democratic feeling. It too is part of the American character.
Well, I've never shied away from being called a liberal, but what I have done is stand up for my beliefs.
The work begins anew. The hope rises again, and the dream lives on.